Hello, 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 hello. Hey, fun people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our Chatted Up Saturdays. And for those that don't know, Chatted Up Saturdays here at Everything Aja is the place where we join together. We have hot educational topics, hot interviews. It is very interactive, and I am ready to get started. Today, we have a special guest, and we are literally talking about her journey, how she almost quit teaching,
Mhm.
but she didn't. So I'm so excited to introduce Keisha. I'll tell you a little bit about her in a second. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Let me know down below in the chat box. Also, introduce yourself. You will get the opportunity to ask her some really hot, buzzing questions that you have on your mind or your heart. So you can always insert those questions down below in the chat box. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But let me just introduce myself really quick for those that do not know who I am. Well, my name is Aja. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, today I get to be the host and sit back. Normally, I'm the one talking, but a little bit about myself. I am an educational consultant. I have been a kindergarten through fifth grade curriculum specialist. That means I have been the administrator over all things teaching and learning. I have over 10 plus years in being in Title One schools in the form of a Title One teacher, all the way to a Title One administrator. And now I am a Title One parent. So you name it, I have done the role. I have my reading endorsement. I'm certified in diagnosing and correcting reading and mathematical behaviors. You name it, I've been there, I've done that. But today is not about me. I just wanted to introduce myself for a little bit. Today we're actually interviewing a phenomenal teacher. I've got to watch her journey over the last year, and it has been such a remarkable journey. And I don't want to tell you too much about her, but let me just set the scene really quick. Set the scene. She is literally a God fearing teacher and mom. When I tell you, every time I talk to her, I walk away with this warm feeling. So I cannot wait to share that with you guys. Very educated, very bubbly, just like me. Without further ado, also my sorority sister. Whoop. Without further ado, let me just introduce her so that she can come on here, tell you a little bit about who she is, her teaching experience. Also, if you have any questions, you can certainly drop those down below in the chat box. So let's go ahead and welcome, Keisha. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. I'm so used to seeing you in the chat box. Now you're on the
I,
main
I, I know, right? Whoop whoop. Yes,
Man,
on the big screen.
yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited that you agreed to just share your journey and kind of just talk about how this year has been, because I know it has been a journey for you.
Yes, and it's
But
definitely a pleasure being here.
oh, thank you, thank you. Before you share your whole journey of this year, just tell us like overall. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your teaching experience, including where you were this time last year in your career.
Okay, I've been teaching over 15 years, and just like Aja, Title One schools. That's my heart. I love those kids that just need that extra mom in their lives, that extra doctor, extra lawyer, that extra nurse. I don't know why, but that's just my heart. That's my calling. That's my passion. I love those kids, and I've taught middle school. I've taught, and I'm currently teaching elementary. I started in elementary, then I went to middle, now I'm back to elementary, and I truly enjoy the little people because when I taught middle for so long, I said, "Why are these eighth graders reading on a second grade reading level? I'm confused. I just don't get that." So God put it on my heart, go back to elementary school to be of service to help out. So I did go back, but then it got a little challenging because when I first started teaching elementary school, I did it for 2 years. It wasn't a whole all that work. It was very relaxed, but I didn't like having the same kids all day. So I decided to go to middle school. But then I came back, and when I came back to elementary, it was departmentalized. So I was like, whoop, whoop. So I'm just teaching reading, writing, and social studies. But then the pandemic hit, That just changed everybody's lives.
Yeah.
And I started teaching virtually. I had to teach everything, y'all. I'm not a math teacher, but I can say now I'm a math teacher. I'm a
Hey, there
math
we
teacher now.
go.
I love math. I used to hate math, but I love math now. But we had to teach everything. So I did virtual that year, teaching everything. Last year I taught everything. This year I taught everything. So it became overwhelming. It really became overwhelming having all those preps. And I was about to go, I was this close to going back to middle school. I said, well, I'll probably go back ELA again.
Wait, there we go. There we go. You went out, but you're back. You're back.
Yes, yeah. I think one of these crazy alarms. I couldn't do it. The stop it just did, and I anyway. So I decided to, no, let me back up. The alarm threw me off. So I was really this year was really challenging. I had a challenging class, and when you have a challenging class, those educators out there, everything becomes challenging because I would stand in the room in the middle of teaching and my brain would literally just cut off. Like with all these things going on with the behavior, I couldn't figure out what was my next step. Like I made this awesome plan. What's the next thing I'm supposed to do? Because the behavior would be so crazy, I just started shutting down. So then I found Aja and she made everything so simple, rinse and repeat. It's like even if my brain shut off, I would have her plan in front of me, like, oh, that's the next thing. So that really helped me because I was like, I just don't know what to do, and it was so overwhelming. I needed something that was automatic, and because when I taught middle school, that's how as middle school teachers, which you were at one point, we systematic, boom, 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 because we teach the same thing like six
Over
times
and
a
over.
day.
Yep.
So we're systematic. But when I came to elementary school, especially this year here, it's like every year my colleagues wanted to start from scratch. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't sign up for that. I can't start from scratch every time because we would have. And shout out to my school, my principal. We have guided planning sessions every week, and I love that. But it's like they want to start over every year. I'm like, why can't we just do what we did last year in September?
Yep.
Like, why we got to do a whole new prompt? Oh no, ma'am, I can't do that. I can't. I'm like, I can't. I can't because I became this teacher that would come home and neglect my I'm gonna be honest, God already knows. I would neglect my own kids because I'm trying to get this lesson plan done that I probably won't have used. So I'm like, why? So I'm like, when I found Aja that changed my life, I was like, I think I might stay in elementary. Because I can't. Because I needed my life back. I would spend almost all day. I would get up 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning. 5 a.m. Do plans while my kids were sleeping. Because once they woke up, it was showtime. You can't focus on nothing but them. So I would wake up at 5, and I never forget this time. I got up at 5. My baby got up at like 6 o'clock. She's never done that. Like, who does that? And that's what helped me to say, no, I can't do this. I want to have time to do things. I want to do my own personal things because I'm a content creator as well. And I'm like, I want to do that when I'm home. I want to spend time with my kids when I'm home. I don't want to be doing schoolwork. So Aja has helped me so much with so many things. It's just
Yeah.
word study, the syllable division, boot camp. That was awesome. So make sure y'all do that. I joined. Well, first I joined teaching by design. Make sure you do that. It was definitely worth it. She has different levels. You can come in at any level. That was definitely worth it because she gives you the training that you need multiple times a month, and you always get something to take away. And that's one thing I love when I go to trainings over the years. What can I put? What can you put in my hand that I can implement as soon as I get back to class? That's minimal prep, and if she preps everything, I mean, it helped me out so much with the syllable division. The guided reading. That was so helpful. So helpful.
Yeah.
I'm truly grateful to you.
Thank you,
You
thank you,
you
thank
get your flowers on screen. Keisha. That's some right there. You can get.
you. Look, and I have some right here too. Like, oh, thank
Yay!
We're gonna get more in. We're gonna get more into that. Think like you gave a great overview. Great overview. Uh,
Yay.
I know you were sharing a little bit about waking up on the weekends, and I feel like so many educators can relate to that because
Mhm,
the weekends seem to be just our planning days, but in
mhm,
actuality, like you and like so many of us, we're also moms. We're also
mhm,
involved in church. Like you got your own
mhm,
business on the side and you have all those other titles, into play. And so many people are there and they've been there, like the old you all year long.
mhm.
So for you, what were some of the biggest obstacles that you faced at the beginning of the school year? And how were you, because you kind of mentioned some of it, like as far as like the planning, but how did this impact you physically and emotionally? Because there may be some people out there that have been facing this all year long and don't even realize that was the trigger to how they're actually feeling emotionally and physically.
Well, the time management, first of all, going from middle school to elementary was a culture shock in a sense because as a middle school teacher, you're going to get by two preps. I'm not two preps, two planning periods.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're going to be about 45, 60 minutes apiece. And then right before I came at elementary, I was a reading coach for a couple of years. And then 3 years before that, I was a Montessori teacher. So that was a little different. So that was like 5 years of me not being a traditional teacher. And coming back, I'm like, so we get 45 minutes. And then this is how the emotional struggle begins. You get 45 minutes, but then it's not like the kids just go to relay dance. You got to take them.
Mhm.
So then the bell not ringing for nothing. So that's the emotional stress because I got to take them down there. And then sometimes the related arts teacher not even ready.
Oh yeah, you
So
gotta
that's
be
that. So
ready to see the kids
that's
now.
about 5 minutes out your time right there. So by the time you get back to your room, you might have 30 minutes. I'm like, see, this is for the birds. I can't do this. I'm not gonna normalize this.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out something else. So that was a show because I'm one of these people. I'm a long processor. So things that took me a long time to process, a lot of times I wasn't even doing during my planning period. I was not planning. So I would
Mhm.
find quick tasks to do, like pay my bills, you know, chat with my teammate to see, what we're gonna do next. Quick little things because I
Right.
cannot plan like that. I cannot do that in 30 minutes because I'm thinking, I'm processing. Because sometimes when I would create big units, especially when I taught middle school, like when I taught 1 year, I just taught social studies, and I wanted to do at that time Africa. We did geography for seventh grade. In
Mhm.
Africa, Africa has like 50 some countries. I'm like, how can I teach all that? So for about a month before I was ready to teach Africa, I created a unit. Y'all, I wish I could find that unit right now. But I know it's not digital. It's not digital, so I don't know what happened to it. But I created a unit. It took me like a month to create that unit. But let me tell you, once I had that unit, for the next month, all I did was sweep glitter off the floor.
Hey.
I mean, I had 7 stations, and every 2 days, the kids would move to a different station because I was teaching social studies all day long. But
Mhm.
every group was social studies. That was like one of the best. And then that was a rough school. That was a Title I middle school. That was a rough school, but I enjoyed it. You enjoy teaching so much more when you plan well. I don't care what nobody says. That planning might take a long time, but let me tell you, all I did, they would come in, they had their little folder, like, okay, your group is working on a mask for your country, Angola. So y'all working, y'all in the mask station. Y'all in the travel station. Your group is in the travel station. You're going to plan a trip to you're the travel agent, you're creating a trip to Zimbabwe. So everybody, because first they had to pick a country and get with a group that won that country. And every day, every 2 days, they'll go to different station. And y'all, as they was working, girl, I was the glitter broom lady.
Oh no, wait. Right
I
when you said glitter bloom lady, I was like,
was the
ta-da.
glitter broom lady, y'all, because all I did was sweep glitter off the floor, sweep up construction paper, the shreds, and just as I sweep, I'm walking around. Y'all all right? Y'all like tap the drum. Y'all all right? Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all need some more scissors. Okay, I got you. You need some more construction paper. I got you. And we did that because it was a long unit because it's like 52 countries. But it took about 3 to 4 weeks. But it was so much fun. I got some awesome projects out of that. And I had at one point, I think I threw it away, but I had a trifold board and I had the best samples for each station on that board, and I had kept that for the longest. And I wish I said, and I might still have it at my mom's house in the garage, not the garage, but the storage room somewhere. But I mean, that taught me right then planning. And then that's something I could use the next year. But then the next year I was back to teaching ELA because I think I only had 1 year. My whole career I just taught social studies that whole year. And then I think I was working on my master's degree that year. No, it wasn't that year. It was another year. But proper planning. I have another unit that I use. I'm getting ready to roll out next week. It's because I did that way back in the day. One of my friends, she's a veteran teacher. At that time, she was a veteran teacher. She helped me out. It's a restaurant project. Create your own restaurant project. That's another good one. Because I had people, after I left, I had teachers to email me about that project. Girl, you got to keep these things on deck. Planning. And that's the thing that resonated, you and I resonated so well because I'm like, she's like me. I like how I used to be. You got to have these things together. So that planning is key. And then you just make sure you laminate it, wipe it down real good. So like the last week of school, my kids gonna help me prep all that stuff.
Yes.
So we're gonna have that squared away for the next group.
Yep.
Yes, for the next group because your time is valuable. You don't have to. People think that as a teacher, you just have to lecture. If you look at Albert Learn years ago, kids retain like 10%. It might be different now from lecture.
That used to be
they retain more from doing and teaching someone else. So there are a lot of teachers that want to have quiet class. My classroom not quiet. It's not quiet. And I used to be a Montessori teacher, so the kids are up around moving. It's just not a quiet class. And a lot of people think that because your class is quiet, your kids are learning. That is not true. That's not true. Now, you have to have some orderly chaos. That's like an oxymoron in itself. I don't know, but that's how it is in my room. And my principal, well, y'all know that's painting class, but my thing, as long as I'm getting them scores. That's all that matters. As long as I'm getting them scores, we good.
Yes. Organized chaos. Look, that's the word even in the chat box. Organized.
Yes.
Chaos.
But as long as we're not acting too crazy, you working. You got to be working and not playing and not being rude and belittling and doing crazy stuff. Now, this group I have this year, they not necessarily organized chaos. They more chaos. But I can't do all the fun things I wanted to do. But hopefully next year I can implement a lot of the more fun things I want to do because they need this group right here. You just got to sit down and be quiet.
Yes.
They all over the place.
So like listening to your story, like it seems like you went from literally having a well-oiled machine middle school classroom.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Projects, you were like on it. And then going from that, just with social studies to teaching everything, like just like I think like in just listening to your story is making me like put myself in your shoes. Because I remember I went from 8th grade to pre-K, like, and I remember the culture shock that I went through. So like listening to you, I'm like, yeah, that culture shock of going from just teaching, one subject and having that one lesson on repeat to teaching everything is huge. You said, like you said, anything is possible with planning.
Yes. You gotta have some good planning. You gotta have good planning. That's key. That's key to anything. What's that adage? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That thing is true. Yep. that thing is true. Even if things are not gonna always go how you want them, but if you don't have a plan at all, you're gonna have crazy. And I can't. When you have 20 little people looking up at you, and you don't have a plan, you're gonna have crazy.
Yeah.
And so, you're gonna have crazy.
Would you say when you did that switch and you started off, teaching this school year, How would you say your planning was at the beginning of the school year?
Well, at the beginning of the school year, I felt a little better because I already had 3 years in.
Okay.
This is my fourth year, or maybe it's my fifth. Girl, I don't remember. Pandemic messed up my brain. I can't remember, but I but I kind of knew. I was like, well, I'm gonna start the year off with this, start the year off that, blah 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 blah. But then it got overwhelming because the district wants you to do this, to do that, and then like I said, when you have rambunctious, and I'm gonna say rambunctious because I don't want one. When you have those kind of kids, it messes with your mind. And then on top of that, I lost a student to gun violence in December.
Mm.
So we were all messed up. So when we came back in January, it just was horrible.
Yeah.
Emotionally, mentally, we were in a bad place. So being that I had your lessons, your materials, that helped make it better. And then your coaching was helpful. I mean, I was gonna quit. I was gonna beginning of the year. I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna tell my principal because she's like the best principal I ever had in my life. I
Oh.
said, I love this school. I can't do this. It's too much work. Elementary school teachers work too hard. But then I was like, well, they stay. So it's something that they do. It's something
Mm.
that the good teachers do that I hadn't figured out yet. And then when I found your channel, because I found you with just the Zoom games, I think during the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
I was like, oh, those are neat. But then I was like, oh, so she does like reading this. Oh, okay. So, but when I found you, I was like, okay, I can do this. Because these are some great lessons. I could just make sure I laminate them, have them good to go. Because one of my biggest struggles was like the read alouds and generating the questions, and then like the guided reading groups. Cause I'm like, first of all, I don't have time to read all these books. And I'm not going to read all these books. Who got time for that? I was able to print out those your cards. I think you had like 100 cards. You got pre-reading, during reading, after reading, and
Yeah,
I
that's
laminated like 6 sets. So I would use one set during my read alouds because I would like scan through. I'm like, oh, that's a generic one that could go. It's nonfiction. Use that one. Just fiction. Use that. And then with my guided reading groups, now that was a game changer, especially when I had groups that were like proficient readers. As I'm working with the student, I would give them a set of cards. Pick 5 to answer. Write them in your journal. Game changer. Game changer because I like they gotta have something to do. This is what you're gonna do.
yeah.
And even as time went on, they're like, oh, Miss Penny, we don't have our cards. They already knew. Get your cards out. So while I'm working with Bobby, you could be answering your questions. So they knew what to do. And they got finished early. Pick 5 more. So they knew don't say nothing about being finished early.
Yeah.
They're gonna get some more. But though that to me, that helped me out a lot. And the syllable division helped me out a lot too because word study. That was really helpful with word study, working with the kids that were really because I have a student, he's a ESL student, but
Mhm.
he speaks fluent English, but he just can't read it. He cannot read it well. And that was helpful with him because I love the tap snap and all that. And then I'm even helping my children with that as well. And that's another thing. I wish I had met you before my 7-year-old started school. But the good thing is I'm able to help my 5-year-old. I
Right.
help her. So I'm grateful for that because this summer I will be teaching virtual school from like 8 to 11. 11 to 12 is planning. So we're going to have lunch, let them go outside, and then it's on. And I'm
Yep.
going to help them a couple hours with their work. And they may be working on some things while I'm teaching that they can do on their own. And afterwards, then I'll do some more teacher, homeschool stuff with them because I have both of them home. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, yeah. I love the fact that it seems like your passion has come back. Like,
Yes, like I love teaching. I really do because I have a friend. He asked me this 2 times. He said, I'm trying to get my own school. Um, I want you on my team. I was like, but I love my school. I love my school. And I don't like working with grown people.
it hits different, girl. It hits so different.
Because Grown people don't listen. Girl, because I remember one time when I was a reading coach and I went to observe it, he was a math teacher. And see, in middle school, if you're not an English teacher, you think you don't teach reading. And I struggle with that. I'm like, don't they read the content? The content, I'm confused.
Yeah.
You still have to provide them with strategies. I never forget this time I went into a math class to observe, and he had his kids in the back coloring in coloring books, girl.
Wow.
I almost launched them books to the front of the room. I'm like, see, I can't do this because grown people don't listen. Like, why? How you think that's okay?
Yeah.
I struggle with that, and that helped me to see my colleagues in a different way that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think you great by not being in your class.
Yeah. That's like the biggest struggle. I feel like just when you go from teacher to leader,
Mm-hmm.
like you start to see like, oh, everybody doesn't do this, and and so forth.
Yes.
um She said, Bonnie said, glad you didn't throw the towel in. Teaching is our superpower. And I
Yes.
want to ask you this because you touched on it a little bit, but like for other people, I know right now, so many educators are leaving the classroom. Like we have a teacher
Mhm.
shortage
Oh
nationwide
yeah.
we have never had before. And you were on that fence, like, all right, do I leave education? They work too hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
too much. And so can you just like talk about what factors contributed to your decision to stay in elementary or leave at that time? Like kind of walk us through what was your thinking but like behind like, okay, which decision do I make? Just kind of walk us through because there's other teachers that I know are watching this. It's the end of the school year. They're like, I am having that same
Mm-hmm.
contemplation in my mind right now.
It's so funny you said that, Aja, because I learned when I was in middle school, it's called a middle school blues. Between like March and May, I learned when I taught middle school, I can't make decisions. You can't make life altering decisions during that time because your mind not right. Your mind not right, and that's the truth. Because you got end of the year testing, you got to teach these kids, and half of the time they don't want to do their work. But your principal looking at you like, I need them scores, Pink.
Right.
I
Come
need them
on now.
scores. I need them scores, and I'm hardcore about my scores because I'm
Mhm.
like I don't care who I teach, I can move you.
Come on.
And it just last week, I was like, oh, these kids getting on my nerves, but I don't want to leave. I never thought that. I've never thought that. I've left so many schools in the past because like, man, these kids get on my nerves. I don't want to teach no more. I left the whole teaching profession one year. It was over 5, 6 years ago. I left the whole teaching profession, and I decided to pursue because I'm always doing a side hustle. I decided to do my side hustle full time, but it wasn't going well. But I'm like, it goes well for other people, but it wasn't going well for me because that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. It
Mm.
wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I remember being in the grocery store. My niece, she was probably like my baby age at that time, 5 or 6. She said, Auntie, teaching is what you're supposed to be doing. I'm like, out of the mouth of babes. And I know that is my thing. Because I've been teaching since I was a kid. I've been working with kids ever since I was a kid. I
Yeah.
know I learned this year that that's my thing. That's my calling. That's my passion. And it's hard. It's tough. But I've learned that you got to get yourself right.
Yeah.
So, um, finding you becoming a part of teaching by design because I mean you had the whole week and I think I watched like every episode 7:30. I think it was 7 or 7:30. What 7 o'clock?
Yep.
I watched everyone. I was like, oh, I'm a sign. I don't care how much this because I need something to help make my life easier because like I just cannot believe in doing things over and over and over. That doesn't make sense. I remember last year we had a door contest in our cluster. We decided to do something with the Grinch,
Okay.
and we made all. You know how you could blow up the Grinch. Everybody get the same Grinch. You could laminate it. The poster maker machine.
Yeah.
Man, they threw that Grinch away. I kept my Grinch. I might need this Grinch again.
Next year.
I still have somewhere, either at my house or at my parents' house, my very first year teaching, I still have the cat in the hat I made. For real, for real. I'm
Mhm.
like, I made that and see, I like art. I like to draw. I like to paint, which that's another thing. I'll have some time to do stuff I like. I say when I make something, I'm not throwing it away.
Right.
I'm gonna save it, whether it's a good lesson plan, a good image, a good story. In grad school, I have this story I wrote. We had to do a personal narrative. I use that story when we teach personal narratives. I'm using my stuff.
Come
I'm
on.
not gonna create something and it go in the trash can. That don't make sense. I don't understand how you gonna create something. See, I'm a creator. I create things, and I can't see throwing it away. I just can't. So many times, people, even my colleagues now, I notice that they put stuff together, and then when we're done, they throw it away. I'm like, give it to me. I'll keep it.
Keep it
Or
right.
I find stuff on the laminate, not the laminate. I find stuff on the copy all the time. Okay, thank you. I'll put
Absolutely.
that in my file.
Absolutely. I know when I switched to becoming an administrator, that was the one thing I saw. I was like, why is everybody like, why do we restart every year from scratch?
Mm-mm.
But I think that's like it's interesting even hearing you bring it up. And I'm like, maybe this is like an education thing, like to restart every single year. And I'm like you, I literally was like, this is the definition of insanity. Like, why are we
Yes.
never get ahead if we're always going back and starting from scratch? Even when it comes to like, building scope and sequences, I'm like, why do we restart? Like, let's just take what we use and then make it better than to restart like from scratch
Yeah.
every single year. Every year you
Yeah.
replanting the same unit. The standards don't change that much from year to year to
Mm-mm.
year. Like, why are
Mm-mm.
we redoing everything every year?
Mhm.
So was definitely like you. Speaking of you, getting your passion back for teaching, I'm so glad you found me, so glad you joined
Me
Teaching by
too.
Design. And for those that don't know what she's talking about, Teaching by Design is my membership for teachers and homeschool parents. We have monthly support calls. There's an entire course of how to create these really fun and engaging lessons with ease so that you can really get your time back. Because like Keisha, I see so many teachers that spend so much time planning, using all of their personal time. I was that person. I was in the same shoe.
Mhm.
But using all your personal time for your kids, and it's like at some point you wake up and you're like, where did I go? I lost myself somehow in teaching. And so that's what she's talking about. And last year, which we'll be doing it again this year, we kicked off the school year with an entire week of how to prepare your classroom for success. So definitely look out for
Mhm.
that. We're gonna do it again this school year.
Dang.
Look, in addition, I might as well say it. Our chatted up Saturdays for this summer. If you love the beginning of the school year, our chatted up Saturdays this summer are going to be a use your summer wisely challenge. So,
Oh yes.
girl, yes,
That
every
sounds
single
good.
Saturday, we're pretty much it's going to be like some interactive workshops. Like I'm pretty much going to be giving you guys things to do while we are on
The
live.
prep.
Yes, to prep for the
Yes.
next school year during the summer.
So that first week back, I could just be doing this.
Come on, come on, come on. So I have really, really exciting things from doing Google Classrooms to doing prepping for our reading centers. And so it doesn't matter if you're teaching online or face to face, make sure you tune in every Saturday over the summer. I know y'all like, look, summertime is supposed to be relaxing. But
Yes.
the truth
Yes.
of the matter is, if we
Hey,
use our summers wisely, then we won't be as stressed out during the school year.
and,
So,
and I'm definitely excited about that because I really want to get into stations because I did a lot of that when I taught middle school, even when I taught Montessori.
mhm,
We always
mhm.
had stations, well, in elementary day centers, but I like stations. I like stations.
So,
Stations. I mean, I used to do them every Friday when I taught middle school with
mhm,
whatever standards they were deficient in the ELA. Like
mhm.
you go to that station, you work on that standard. I mean, I love stations, and you can keep those things in your nice little manila folder.
Come on. I still have all mine. Just because
Oh
I'm not in the classroom no more, don't all of them still laminated, still in the thing, and I
Woo!
have the standards. Like I still have them.
Oh yes, so that's gonna be my goal this summer. You gotta help me
Yeah.
get my stations together. I'm gonna get my stations.
We together. I got you. So make sure you tune in for Saturdays because that's literally what we're doing is using our
Yeah.
summer wisely. So every Saturday will be like an interactive workshop for June and July, and then we'll kick off the school year with that same prepping your classroom for success challenge.
Mhm.
So,
And this is really good, especially for new teachers.
mhm.
Even for me, teaching for a while, you sometimes you forget. And you forget those things that worked last year because your brain is fried. Because like this time of year, my brain is on off. If my principal called me right now and said, you don't have to come back. You can take the next 2 weeks off. I wouldn't look back at all. I was I would send my students nice little notes. I love y'all, but I see y'all in fifth grade in August. And I would send my kids to school the last 2 weeks of school and I stay home.
Come on. I'm already sitting here like, Kendall, what are you about to do this summer at home with mommy?
I
My
know.
friend, one of my best friends, because she's a teacher too. And so she's like, her son, he's in third, fourth grade. And she's like, I only did it one summer. And I said, never again. Every summer is camp. We doing stuff. And so I'm like, oh, so this is my first summer experiencing it. So I'm like, yeah, next
Now,
summer.
now she got a point. She got a point. Because I used to send my kids, like last year, my baby was still at the daycare because she just started 4K. So that's the daycare she was at since she was 6 months old. So I would ask them if my big girl can come. They're like, sure. But see, this year, they're going to be home with me. I'm going to be teaching. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But they do need to have someplace to go. Now, that's real.
We in the same boat.
But I got to figure out what we going to do
What
because
you gonna do?
that is real. Because you need some time to get yourself together, even if it's just 2 weeks. Yeah,
Right,
so
right,
it's
right.
but we gonna figure something out.
Yes, we're in the same boat together. So speaking of like self-care, getting our mental health right, can you share how you stay motivated and encouraged as a teacher, especially since you have been teaching, for years? But during these stressful times that you've stated, March through May, is a very stressful time. Like, how do you stay motivated at such a time where most teachers experience teacher burnout?
Well, I've been praying a lot more.
Come on now.
I've been praying a lot. Um, I was telling my colleagues the other day, as soon as I turn on this one road before you get to the next road to go to our school, I was like, as soon as I turn on that road, I start praying. I start praying. I pray a lot, and even in class, when that devil is he's strong now. Because this group I have this year, they have a lot of challenges. So even when things break out in class, I might start saying some stuff out loud. Cause I remember the other day they started getting real crazy. I opened that back door and I opened it wide. I said, I want the spirit of disrespect gone out. I want the spirit. I started naming about 4, 5 spirits. I need them to get on out my room, out this back door. I was gonna open the front door, but then it'll go into the school. So I changed my mind. So I'm fortunate. I have a back door. I open that back door. I let that thing go out in the woods. Get on out of here. Get on out. And then as soon as I got finished, what my students said, I don't think that's gonna help.
Listen, you can pray all you want, but I'm gonna say what I want to say.
So that is key. Because when you're not built up in God, anything can take you down.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's number one. Because even like now, me and my girls, we studying out Ephesians 6. Put on the full armor of God. And we've been
Mhm.
doing that for the last couple of weeks because I want them to know. And I was so encouraged. I don't want to cry. Every morning we go to school, we all say a prayer in the car. My big girl's like, Lord, help us put on the full armor of God.
Come
But
on,
I was like, come on, God, come
come
on. So
on.
that's number one. And from number two, because a lot of times, let me back up. A lot of times people like, you can't call out, say nothing about religion. Is okay, whatever. You just have to know how to do it. Because I sometimes I say scripture. They don't know, they don't read the Bible, they don't know it's a scripture. They don't even read the Bible. So
Look,
I say them things out loud. I start singing. Jesus keep me near the cross, no the help. Because I'm telling you, this year has been really challenging with our laws and with the behavior. I have to say that stuff out loud because I need God to help me. I mean,
Yeah.
for real. And for me, my personality with being a former middle school teacher at a Title I school, I can be real rugged. So
Yeah.
I have to keep myself together in them. And then secondly, I find things that I like to do. Like I'm a content creator. I'm a YouTuber. And that relaxes me. I enjoy doing that. And a lot of times people are like, why you waste your time on that? And you need to be doing this, doing that, doing. But I got to do something for me because a lot of times as women, we don't do stuff for us. And then because when I don't have my me time, I become a dragon. And I realized that over the years, especially since I became a parent, I become a dragon. So I have to have that me time. And like my kids, they go to after school, like the Y Club. So, and it's till 6, but I don't let them stay till 6, but I let them stay till about 4. So when I get off, I have that whole hour. Even if I spend that hour parked outside of their school, I sit in the parking lot and I do what I want to do for me.
Mhm.
I do what I want to do for me. Okay. And so those are some things that I've used to help me. And then of course, what else for me time? You know, going to the spa. I love that. I enjoy that. That's really helpful, going to the spa. So you have to find the things that you like. And as you get older, you're going to like different things.
Mhm.
You have to find the things that you like, even if it's just taking a walk. You got to have some time to do some things that you like so that, because when you get home, you clock it in the second shift. So I do some things that I like first, and then I pick them up because then I know it second shift. So getting home, getting in the tub, getting their dinner,
Mhm.
Devo time with them getting their work done, helping them with their schoolwork, which I'm ready to end.
There we go.
I'm sorry, because my alarm keeps going off, and I'm scared to slide you up because I think I'm gonna lose you.
It's cool.
So,
Don't close out for a second. Like,
so I'm like, oh God, if I try to I might lose the whole thing. So just finding that time. You got to find that time for yourself. You have a in the mornings before you get out of bed. You got to connect with God. You got to get that quiet time in because
yeah,
you know as soon as your feet hit the floor, it's over. So you
yeah.
got to get that quiet time in. That to me, that's number one because when you put on the full armor of God, like you can knock off those flaming arrows because they gonna come because the devil is busy. He the only man I know that don't take off.
He's so silly.
He always he don't never take a vacation.
So
He
you
worked
reminded
first,
me
second,
of
and third shift.
my daughter's class. So we had our end of the year parent teacher conference because she actually graduates pre-K this week. So,
Yay!
but we had our conference with her teacher, and she was like, "Yeah, she started church at school," and I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "Yeah, so in pre-K they get the hour of uninterrupted play." Well, Kendall started preaching to all the kids, telling them about Jesus. And
What? So
so
how many kids in her congregation?
she said it's gotten so much that they had to expand the reading center because Kendall would get on this little, like, look, block as her stage. She said all the other kids start imitating their parents, getting the books out of the reading center and waving themselves, talking about some amen. It was like, oh my goodness. She was
At
like,
least you know they're going to church.
I mean, for real. She said your daughter done taught them about how Jesus is always with them in their heart. And I said, do I need to tell her to stop? She was like, no, I'm not doing anything. She said, but now parents are starting to call. Like, how does my baby know all of this? And she was like, I just have to explain that this is their uninterrupted play and this is what they decide
They
to
want
do.
they can do it on their own. It's not
Mhm.
by and that's why I told my kids the other week when we before tested us, can we pray? I said, y'all can pray, but I can't initiate prayer. But if y'all
Mhm.
want to pray, y'all can pray. Did you ask the teacher to get some video footage?
I did. I did. I said she does it again. Do recording. She was like, I'm gonna try to, but I can't get the other kids in the video. So I was like, I just need to see her. But like she came home and told me that they started doing it at recess. She was like, yeah, I pray with my friends at recess.
Well, you know that's a good thing because bullying is real.
Mhm.
Hey, let her get them spirits on out of there. That's good. That's good. Help her
I
make
told
right
teacher, I
choices.
said, look, I have a ministry. So sometimes she sees me on there. She was like, Oh, that makes sense. Cause she's like, cause Kendall is just. I'm like, oh no, she has a calling on her life too now.
Yes, yes. So she's doing what you're doing. Yes.
Yeah, she done started at that school. Man. So I have to get out to our next question because I'm dying to know now that you have gone from the beginning of the year feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you needed some things with planning, finding me, whoop, whoop, and having like this challenging year though with your students, and you had some trials and tribulations, some uncontrollable situations happen this
Mhm.
year. Do you ever regret your decision not to quit elementary and to stay in your current classroom? Like now that the year is over, do you look back and actually regret your decision to stick it out this year?
I don't. And it's so funny you asked that because this week, it's amazing the thoughts that go in your mind when you're driving to work. This week, I had a thought. I said, you know what? This year has been like one of the worst years ever. But I don't want to quit. Because in the past, deuces. I'm not doing this no more. And it's so crazy how I got an email. I got an email yesterday. We were going on the way for a field trip. An email came across my phone that said, I see that you resigned, you didn't put in your contract. And I was like, I didn't do that. And I didn't even realize they went straight over my head that they were due Wednesday. I didn't even know that. I was like, I've been so busy doing so much stuff with testing. Let me tell you, when it's testing time,
Oh, you
I
said
have tunnel vision.
mhm.
When I'm at work, it's tunnel vision. I'm not looking at nothing but that. We prepping for that. We trying to get that.
But you gotta sign
So
that contract now.
yeah. So I was like, and we were on the way. We were sitting. I was waiting on the buses. I went to my room and got my laptop. I came back. I was like, because I saw it come across my phone. Because remember, I told you before, I lose my job if I didn't have my emails come on
Yeah.
my phone. Literally, I almost lost my job. So I saw it on my phone. I was like, oh my God, I didn't quit. So I put on my laptop and I got a new laptop. So I had to do the username and password to get on the front line and do all that stuff. And I emailed the gentleman back, said, no, I didn't quit. I did not quit.
I'm
I know.
serious.
So I went back and I was like, I approve. Yeah, I need my job. But I didn't know. He said, well, just talk to your principal, let them know, blah, 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 blah. Because, when you don't submit it in time, they accept that
Mhm.
as a resignation. I'm like, but
Right.
I didn't say I was resigning.
But you didn't say you were staying either.
So I was like, oh no. So thank God the buses were late because I got that thing in before
Come
the bus
on.
came. So he did call me while we were on the bus. And I said, no, sir, I didn't quit. No, I just had a lot going on. I didn't even know the contracts were due. I literally did not know.
And this is late. I know ours normally go out in like March. Ours are really early. Like they need that commitment by the beginning of spring break. And every time I'm like, this so early.
But they did send out a form early, probably March, February, March. Are you coming back? And I said yes. But I don't ever remember seeing anything about a contract like that. Just went straight over my head because like when I'm in the zone for test time, I'm in the zone. I don't see nothing else. And like at my school, we have so much fun. They love to do a lot of fun things. But in my mind, like I don't want to do that. I need to get ready for testing.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a middle school teacher. In my mind, I'm like, in middle school, we not doing all that fun stuff. So sometimes I have a struggle between my middle school self and my elementary school self.
Hey, battle between the two. The old you and the
Yes,
new
I'm
you.
like y'all want to have fun, and that's the one thing I love about being back. Elementary school is so much fun, but sometimes I'm like, okay, now we don't need to have fun right now. Let's get this work done.
Yes, it's that balance between the
Hmm.
two. Well, I'm
Yes,
so glad you didn't quit and you're
yes,
staying, and you seem excited. So we are officially
yes.
staying in elementary school now.
Yes, we're gonna stay. We're gonna stay. I finally got my class how I wanted to. My principal was saying something about you want to go up to fifth grade. No, ma'am, I'm not changing my class. I already got myself up on the wall, so they better not even come in trying to paint nothing. This no ma'am.
No.
I already got myself up, and you know how during testing you have to cover yourself up. I said, I'm
Mhm.
covering it up. I'm not taking nothing down. Now I take all that math down because I'm not teaching that.
Come on, take it down.
But I'm not. No, I'm not taking nothing down. I'm covering it up, and then we gonna clean up my room and get my stuff prepped for the upcoming school year. No, ma'am.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. I'm glad I get to be a part of this amazing journey for you.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited.
So, what would you tell? What advice would you give somebody considering a career in teaching or simply like you wanting a shift? Maybe from middle school to elementary, maybe from high school to elementary, just looking for a shift, feeling uncomfortable. Based on your own experiences and insights, what would you tell the you at this time last year?
Well, first, if you know that it's not there,
There we go.
okay. If it's your passion, I know for some people it may not be their passion because some people do need to leave. They do because it's not for them. Because a lot of people get an education because of the summers, the breaks. It's never for the money. But if it's your passion, don't give up on it. Because I knew it was my passion. I gave up at one point, but after that, I realized I'm not doing it again. It's my passion. And find some help. Get some help. Don't try to do everything on your own. Get some help, like get a consultant, like how you're my consultant. Get some help. And even your colleagues in your building. Okay, how can we work do this together? Because I know at our school we have guided planning, so we plan together. Everybody shares the load, and that's helpful because you cannot do it by yourself, especially if you have to teach everything. You cannot do it by yourself. Because I know when I started teaching math, I knew basic math, but all the strategies are so different. Like what? So just learning the strategies took a lot.
Yes.
Learning strategies a lot, but now I know the math strategies, girl. I know the boxing method. I know the Marie's. Girl, I know all that stuff. But you have to get strategy, and then you have to get training. It's like this summer I'm going to the Orton Gillingham training, so I'm excited about that. You got to learn because I've always had a passion because I'm elementary middle certified. I'm not primary certified. And that's another thing that you helped me with because I wanted to be able to learn how to teach children how to read. I was never taught that because I'm not primary certified. But
Mhm.
now that I had a syllable division boot camp, that's helped me a lot because I was like, CVC, what is that? What is that?
What is
But
that?
now, now I'm more knowledgeable. And I need to go back and go through that whole boot camp again, probably this summer, and refresh because I really want to start it off with my kids at the beginning of this year, upcoming school year. And then I am going to be doing it with my nephew and my daughter this summer. We're going to finish it up because I really want to go through the whole thing so I can be ready. But you got to get your training. You cannot become a teacher and just think school is over. Because like my students, they think well, once they get out there, they no, you're not. When you get a job, you got to have training. Like my mom and my sister are both cosmetologists. They have to have training every year. You got to renew your certificate. You can't. You have to. You will. No matter what job you have, you always have training, and that's important too.
Yeah, lifelong learners.
Yes.
When I was in college, they were like, "You got to be lifelong learners," and that really is what teaching is all about. Good morning, good
Mhm.
morning, good morning. So yes, for those that are like, what is she talking about? We do have a syllable boot camp, and that is perfect for teaching struggling readers, second through
Mhm.
fifth grade readers, and children that do not have any background knowledge as far as explicit
Mhm.
and systematic teaching when it comes to reading and the reading rules and spelling patterns if you're like, wait, what is she talking about? What is a diphthong? What is a CVC? Then this is what you need to join. It's a 6 module course. You go through it, everything you need. It has an entire, I mean, done for you lessons, done for you,
Mhm.
everything, everything you need to implement. Like all you have to do is get trained, and all the stuff is done for you. So, look, that's a little bit about what she is talking about, and I'm so
Mhm.
glad that has been helpful. Thank you so much, Keisha, for tuning in with us
Yay!
this Saturday, sharing your
Yay!
story. And I want to actually do this new thing here at least once a quarter.
Mhm.
So this is our first time doing it. But listening to your story and how you will literally went from being on top of it in middle school to like ready to quit teaching elementary,
Mhm.
rocking and rolling this whole elementary thing. I definitely wanted to give you a teacher spotlight. So you're going to be our quarter 2 teacher spotlight. And so you're going to get a free one-on-one summer consulting call. So we literally
Yay!
work together. I know the last time you got one, you're like, look, I need one more of these. So we'll work one-on-one this summer together on whatever topic you know want to work on. Look, it can be anything. You can pick my brain on
Okay,
anything.
let me think.
You know, let me think about it then. Hold on. Um,
What I'm struggling with right now.
yes, and ways that we can make even next school year run even more smoothly. And if you want to ever nominate another person for the next teacher spotlight, simply just email hello@everythingaja.com. You can't nominate yourself, that's the only catch, but you can certainly nominate any other teacher. Let me know who it is, what is their contact information, and why it is that they deserve to get spotlighted. So excited to have you as our first teacher spotlight here at Everything Aja. Look, as we wrap up Teacher Appreciation Week, thank
Yay!
you,
I feel honored. Yay!
yay. Thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for literally rolling up your sleeves. Everything you do, both in the classroom and with your children at home, I know it's appreciated on their behalf. But I know sometimes kids don't know how to say thank you. So allow me
Mhm.
to say thank you from them. And once again, we've enjoyed you. Thanks for being open, honest, and transparent. If we have any last questions for Keisha down below, you can drop them down right now before we end. But if not, thank you so much for being open and honest. And I'm
My
sure
pleasure.
people may have questions keep coming in as they start to watch the replay. So look, I'll shoot them your way.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Well, thanks so much. I'm so excited. And if you are wondering what she was talking about as far as teaching by design, you can simply go to everythingaja.com/join and learn how you too can join this amazing program as we kickstart working smarter and not harder for next year. Allow next school year for you too to be your best school year. So you can be up here grinning like Keisha, having your
Yes.
free time back, being able to look as she talk about being creative. Now, last little plug, last little plug. I know you two have your own YouTube channel, although it's not about teaching. Go
Oh,
ahead and
yes.
let them know. Look, let them know a little bit about like with all this extra free time. For those of you that don't know, she went from having no free time for herself at the beginning of this year to
Mhm.
literally allowing her classroom to start running on what I like to call autopilot. What I teach all of my members and clients auto-piloted instruction. And so with that spare
Yes.
time, she was able to kickstart her own YouTube channel. And so
Mhm.
at this point, I'll let her tell you a little bit about it. Look, this is your time to promote, girl. Go ahead.
Yes. I have when I first started with Aja, I had Keisha Budgets. And on that channel, I talk about like budgeting. We do savings challenges. I do budget meal plans. I talk about my share my Aldi hauls, and just saving money and getting my budget together. Okay. Then I have a new channel that launched about 3 weeks ago. Well, Tuesday will be a month, and it's called Cash Saving Keisha. This is my fun channel because I tried to do some of those. Sorry, wait a minute. I tried to do some of those things on my old channel, but it wasn't working. So everybody's like, just start a new channel. So on the new channel, I'm doing Cash Saving Keisha. I do Bridal Stews Walk With Me because I'm a big Dollar Tree person. I love the Dollar Tree because all teachers love the Dollar Tree. Because you can find some awesome deals in the Dollar Tree, like things that are like $5, $6 in the Dollar Tree, they're $125. So I do those and I do my hauls. And I also, I haven't dropped any of those videos yet, but I also will be showing videos of how I use those things to organize and beautify my home. So, so that's pretty much what that channel's about. That's my fun channel. That's my fun channel. So yeah, so it within less than a month I have like 107 subscribers. So I'm like, yeah. So
Yeah.
we trying to do big things. Once you had a YouTube channel, you realize what works and what doesn't.
Mhm.
Because my first channel, I know it took over a year to get 100 subscribers.
Oh yes, baby.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. But now that I have more of an insight of what works and what doesn't work, then I'm like, okay. And being consistent, and that's just something in life, just being consistent.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I've dropped her YouTube channels down below. You can definitely check them out. The links are right there. If you're tuning in from Facebook or YouTube, they're down below. So you can check Keisha out. Look.
Yes. Support me. It's free.
It's free. Come on now. It's free. And if you're not yet subscribed here, then definitely subscribe
Yes.
down below by clicking the subscription button. If you
Yes.
haven't hit that thumbs up button, we ask that you hit the thumbs up button. That just helps support this video. And if you have another teacher just like Keisha that would benefit for just from listening to her story,
Yes.
they're on the verge of wanting to quit, feeling overwhelmed. Maybe this school year might have been one of the roughest school years for them as well. Definitely share this video. Say, hey, I think you should listen to this. Tune into this live chat and share. Well, we do this every single Saturday here at Everything Aja, and we would love for you to look. Make sure you're here every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Keisha. Thanks for those watching live. Thanks for those watching the replay. Comment down below. Hashtag
Yes.
replay. Let us know your thoughts. I see in the chat box a great chat. Thanks again,
Yes.
Keisha.
Thank you for having me. I feel honored.
Of course, of course. See
Teacher
you later.
Appreciation Week. Whoop whoop.
Yes, whoop, whoop. Yes, thank y'all for all that you've done. If you're on my email list, and you know, like you got lots of different goodies. Like a new goodie every single day. So look, Bonnie said, yay, Keisha, great interview.
Thank you, buddy.